This phenomenon of finding a wife in Vietnam started about 0.1 years ago, and it's likely to turn into a trend, even a whole industry, a new cultural tourism industry, where matchmaking is combined with travel. This is something that our fund has fully agreed on this year, and we believe it is a high-quality project worth investing in. If you're a young person looking to start a tourism business, or an investor interested in good primary projects, or if you're a woman who isn't married yet, you should definitely pay attention to this phenomenon. Because once any industry is commercialized, it will impact not only the people in the country but even people all over the world. First, let's get straight to the point. You should like and save this content. Our senior fund manager has recently brought us a project to invest in, which involves going to Vietnam or Thailand. The focus is on provinces with high bride prices. I won't mention the specific provinces, but in general, those areas with a high number of single men and women looking for marriage. The idea is to offer low-cost travel for around 30,000 to 40,000 yuan, and while there, arrange for these single men to meet local women from Vietnam, Laos, or Thailand who are interested in marrying Chinese men. Moreover, the project has already completed the minimum viable product, so it's a solid business opportunity. Tourism projects usually have a difficult time scaling down costs, but the market for single men is huge, and cultural tourism is a cash-flow-heavy industry. You have to pay me before I can arrange your travel itinerary. This is a great project with strong cash flow and growth potential. Our fund and I are all extremely optimistic about it. So if you're looking for a project to invest in, this is a great opportunity. On platforms like Douyin, everyone is just repeating the same information, but this is a genuine, valuable market niche. From a business perspective, once the matchmaking is successful, the Vietnamese women involved can also be offered work visas and a range of services that will keep generating revenue. So, it's not just a one-off business deal. It has continued revenue potential. In terms of sales, if you look at some short video platforms, you'll see many male relationship bloggers talking about traveling to Vietnam to find a wife. These bloggers have the largest audience of single men in China and are ideal for promoting this kind of business. Typically, young men in China who struggle to find a wife may have issues with their appearance, behavior, job, or income. In provinces where the bride price is high, the competition is tough. But now, with more single men in China, this project could even get policy support if it performs well, since we have low marriage and birth rates. This could be a very promising venture, especially considering the issues with our country's marriage and birth rates. If the project succeeds, it could set a new trend, offering a low-cost solution for single men, and potentially helping to address fertility issues. If you're a woman in a small city, particularly from one of the provinces with high bride prices, there's a trend you should be aware of. Men from other regions may be more inclined to marry women from Vietnam, especially if it's more affordable than the bride price in your region. This trend could be even more significant in the next few years. While I don't think this is an issue for women in big cities like Beijing, Shanghai, or Guangzhou, women in smaller cities may want to consider moving to larger cities to improve their chances of finding a better match. Once this matchmaking trend becomes fully commercialized, it will revolutionize the way the high bride price custom works in China. And I believe this will have a significant impact on the entire market. This video was initially intended to be live-streamed tomorrow, but I wanted to get this information out now. I hope to share some real value that sets this apart from the typical stock market or second-tier market content that's widely available. I want to separate myself from those who are always stuck talking about the same old topics. Whether you're young and looking to start a business, find a job, or invest, I suggest you stay connected with people who can provide truly valuable projects and opportunities. This will be far more rewarding in the long run.
First, everyone, take a look at this chat history. Another Chinese person was scammed while looking for a wife in Southeast Asia. Hello everyone. I'm Da Yong. This is my new account. Please uncles, aunts, brothers and sisters, help by following the account before continuing. Today I'm going to tell you a truth. If you are poor and live frugally, don't come to Vietnam to find a wife. Why? Because in the end, you'll end up losing everything. Many people see others succeeding, and want to try it too. So they go online to search for information. And what do they find? Those websites saying that future girls especially love Chinese men and want to marry Chinese men. Some even say that in Southeast Asia, there is no bride price. And there are many beautiful women with fair skin, good looks, and long legs. But I'll tell you, those girls who don't ask for a bride price, they only don't ask if they like the man. If they don't like you, do you think they won't want to send you back home? There's more. You see others succeed, but you don't see the effort behind it. I'll give my own example. I came to Vietnam to find a wife and succeeded. But what I did, most people couldn't. Many people aren't that generous. I came to Vietnam during the pandemic. At that time, the flights weren't operating. So we came on a chartered flight. Not kidding. Yes, we came on a chartered flight. And each person paid their share. We traveled by plane. And then there was quarantine and document fees. In total, we spent about 20,000 to 30,000 yuan. Just for this expense. Do you think anyone would spend this much? If I don't tell you, you'll never know. Everyone thinks it's easy. Vietnamese girls. They like tall men. Good-looking. Humorous. And caring. They like this type of man. And their bride price may be a little, or not much. But some people send me messages. Men over 40 or 50. Asking me to find a girlfriend for them. And they want a 20-year-old. Also, she has to speak Chinese. And be a university student. With the qualities I just listed. Honestly, only a scammer could fulfill these requirements. No normal person could. I've talked to some of them. But they tell me, I'm rich. I have a house and a car. But actually, Vietnamese girls don't care too much about that. Because your house is just in a small town. It doesn't have much value. The car is only worth a few thousand yuan. It's not worth much. Honestly. If the house isn't in Vietnam, and the car isn't in Vietnam, to them, that's not an impressive condition. Also, the man's age is a problem. These people generally don't want to listen. But when they ask me, I give advice. I'll be honest. Vietnamese girls really don't want to marry Chinese men. They have much more advantage marrying men from other countries. Why would they marry a Chinese man? What do Vietnamese girls prefer? They prefer men who live in Vietnam. Who buy a house for them in Vietnam. Build a house for them. And take care of their family. Even if your conditions are a bit worse. They will still want to marry you. This is true. But if you want to live and work in Vietnam, you have to have the ability to sustain yourself. Not just anyone can live abroad easily. Like those people who got scammed. The scammers exploited their weaknesses. Because they weren't that great. But they had high demands. Only a scammer could meet their expectations. In the end, they end up with nothing. Starting from scratch. These people are also very pitiful. If you're watching this video, I hope you share it. So that more people know. That the real situation is like this. Only a fool would go abroad to find a wife. Those brothers who go to Vietnam and Laos to find a wife. You must watch this video. Hello. Hi everyone. I'm manager Jin Yu. Recently, after a trip, many older bachelors, aged 3 years in the process, are worried. Their families are urging them to get married. And they're anxious about not having a wife. But the situation in China, there are more people than women. So many have set their sights on Southeast Asian countries, where the women don't ask for a dowry, are virtuous and take care of the home. They are the top choice for many men. And with the novelty of social media, some influencers abroad often share their daily life with their wives, leading to many bachelors in China flooding into Laos and Vietnam. These countries to find wives. In fact, if we look at history, back in the era of invasions, in ancient times, the so-called wars of conquest were about women and wealth. If we see Chinese older bachelors going to these underdeveloped countries to find wives, isn't it just another form of conquest? What's the difference from the ancient wars? In those times, what was being conquered were wealth, women, and those going to Vietnam to find wives. They are definitely fools. They are the ones giving away money, paying for others, generous ones giving away wealth. Why do I say this? They work hard, save hundreds of thousands of yuan, save enough for the dowry, but can't find a wife domestically. So they take this money, 2 or 300,000, or even more, take it abroad, rent a house, and start trying their luck. There are even funnier ones, who make a sign, sit by the road like beggars, asking for a wife, as if they were begging for food. Isn't that ridiculous? When their money runs out, and they can't earn anything abroad, they slink back to China, embarrassed. Brothers, do you understand what I mean? The big bachelors from China going abroad. They are not conquering, nor doing anything impressive. Of course, if they are lucky, a few compatriots find a wife, and post videos on social media to show off. Look, I found a wife. This ends up encouraging more older bachelors, who don't know the situation, and more people rush to follow. Soon, more will go to Laos. And then, social media keeps promoting the country and its culture, helping to develop the economy. Even the women from these Southeast Asian countries, directly boosting the economy of Southeast Asia, with many Chinese bachelors, bringing large sums of money, some with millions in savings, taking it abroad to invest and open businesses. But most end up losing everything, directly helping to develop the local economy. And many older bachelors go there, meet girlfriends, build houses, spending all the money they worked hard to earn, all abroad. So, only a fool would go to Vietnam to find a wife. For me, going abroad is to make money, either to get money from foreigners, or to get money from Chinese people. Many of these influencers succeeded, doing social media, taking money from Chinese people. Others are doing business abroad, getting money from foreigners, earning in dollars. That's fine. But what about you, brother? Going abroad to find a wife? Are you kidding? Take a look at your wallet, is it full? Okay. That's all for today's video. If you agree with me, like and support. Let's wake up more Chinese older bachelors. Don't fall for scams anymore. Don't waste time and effort. Don't waste your energy. Goodbye.
After spending a month in Thailand, it became clear that there is a significant demand, not just from men in China, but from all over the world seeking women from Southeast Asia. During my stay, I spoke with several locals, and what I noticed was disheartening for them when it comes to relationships in their own country. Imagine living in a place that isn't highly developed, leading a normal life with a job that barely covers your expenses. And suddenly, men from all over the world, with much better financial conditions than theirs, start arriving, looking for Thai women. The time I spent in Thailand showed me that even if you're not the most handsome or wealthy, there will always be men in much worse situations. However, for women in Southeast Asia, a foreigner is always seen differently. What many locals don't realize is that for these women, the interest from foreigners might seem like a unique opportunity. The impact of this is huge, and it's not just about attraction or money, but a reflection of the economic and social disparities between cultures. This situation creates great frustration among the local men who feel overlooked. Many begin to question their own living conditions, as the value of their masculinity and social status is disregarded. For some women, the idea of being courted by a man with better financial resources from abroad is irresistible. However, for the local men, this can be a blow to their egos. The perception that what they offer isn't enough, given the high expectations of women, can lead to an emotional void that is difficult to handle. This goes beyond personal relationships. We're talking about a deeper social impact where marriage tourism starts to interfere with the region's family and cultural structures. Meanwhile, foreign men who often arrive expecting to find a simple woman without the pressures seen in big Chinese cities end up facing a complex dating market filled with expectations that don't always match reality. In the end, what is created is a cycle of frustrations on both sides. The local men feel even more distant from their ideal lives, while the women often find themselves trapped in a search for something that, most of the time, won't bring the happiness they expect. They may even feel used or exploited by foreigners who only see them as an opportunity to improve their lives. And you, what would you do in a situation like this? Considering that there is much more involved than just a simple encounter between two people looking for a relationship. The core issue is how the desire for a simple relationship gets mixed up with cultural, economic, and social issues, creating a gap between different worlds. If you like this video, give it a like and subscribe to the channel for more dilemmas like this. I'll see you in the next video.